Good afternoon and welcome to the Office of Economic Development Business Information Session. My name is Margaret McGee. I'm the Business Services Manager. Business Services assists entrepreneurs and business owners in starting and growing their business. We help in navigating through the different departments within city government to obtain permits and licenses. We also connect the business community with organizations that can provide technical assistance, incentives, resources, and other programs beneficial in operating a business. One way we do this is to host business information sessions. These sessions are held throughout the year, and topics are gathered from entrepreneurs and surveys and information we collect from the business community. This is a series of 3 sessions focusing on doing business local, state, and federal. Today we have Mr. James Simmons, the Purchasing Office Chief Procurement Officer. He will share an overview of his office, how to register as a supplier, where to find bid opportunities, and how to respond to bids, and much more. We also have Ms. LaSabra Ventris, the Office of Supply Diversity, State and Local Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification Program Manager. She will share information regarding the state and local DBE certification, the process to become certified, and the functions of their office. To keep down distractions, attendees, please turn off your videos and mute your speakers. I ask that you place all questions in a chat box, and they will be answered at the end of the presentations. All handouts will be provided and shared with everyone within 24 to 48 hours after the meeting has ended. Now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Simmons.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, but also thank you so much for allowing me to brief on the Department of Finance, Office of Procurement, and Bureau of Purchasing of how to do business with the city. Again, my name is James Simmons. I am the Chief Procurement Officer for the City of New Orleans. And let me share my screen so we can begin. You can see some of the slides regarding my presentation on today. So can everyone see my screen? Ms. Margaret, can we all see my screen? We're good?
Yes, we're good.
Good, thank you so much. So what are we going to discuss today are some preliminary notes about the Office of Procurement. We're going to discuss BRAS, which is our primary operating system for doing business with us in the City of New Orleans. We're also going to discuss our supplier portal. We're going to discuss how can we assist you to do business with the City of New Orleans, and then we'll close it out in conclusion. So the mission of the Purchasing Department or the Office of Procurement, and our goal is to provide essential procurement services for all City of New Orleans department requests. So in other words, our job is to create a centralized department for all of the 19 departments within the City of New Orleans who are trying to procure goods, services, equipment, supplies, and also for all of our public works and non-public work projects. Our goal is to procure the most quality products and using the most effective and transparent methods to ensure compliance with the City of New Orleans codified uniform purchasing procedures in Louisiana bid law, but also, what's not including here, but also in guidance with federal law. And our mission is to serve all the citizens of New Orleans, our vendors, our employees with excellent customer service while fostering an open and fair competition and transparency for those competitive practices. So let's talk about BRAS. BRAS stands as an acronym. It stands for Budget Requisition Accounting Services System. There again, it is our primary system of use for doing business in the city of New Orleans. We launched this financial platform in June of 2019, and we've been using it ever since. This platform helps with supply management. It also helps with our business community offering bidding opportunities for us to track purchase orders, contracts. This is also a place where invoices are submitted where vendors can get paid and they receive proper payment. And then on the other side of that is the supplier portal. This is an external interface of BRAS. This is with individuals and entities or vendors or companies who wish to do business with the city of New Orleans. So going through BRAS, let's talk about the eligibility factors. All of our vendors, and I want to make sure I stress that, is everyone is required to provide, if they want to provide services, they want to supply supplies, repairs, or constructions with the city of New Orleans must be registered in the BRAS supply portal. This is mandatory if you want to do business with the city of New Orleans. The information required for registration includes your company, your business entity, their contact information, as well as the listing of products and services that you can provide to the city from a designated commodity code that is already in our system. And we're going to talk about commodity codes a little bit further. And if you are a 1099 vendor, supplier, the current W-9 will be required when you're registered in the supplier portal. But also, if you are a certified DBE, the certification acknowledgement will be required during registration. And there's going to be more information going forward about how to become a certified DBE if you are not already one. Let's talk about the supplier portal. Again, the supplier portal is a separate interface of the BRAS system where you as a vendor can register into the system for you to actually be able to do business with the city of New Orleans. The registration and access, of course, the portal is absolutely free. But once you register, this is where you're going to get an email indicating the bidding opportunities in the system, in the city of New Orleans. So the only way you're going to know what goods and services or supplies or construction or public works that we are looking for vendors to complete is that you have to be registered in BRAS through the supplier portal. You can submit your proposals online instead of dropping it off at City Hall. We actually prefer that you use our BRAS system to submit your proposals, but you can drop them off, and it doesn't slow it down. But just make sure that if you do it by hand carrying it, and make sure everything is in your package. And again, you can track your responses in the supplier portal, purchase orders, contracts, invoices, and you can also track the payments that you have received regarding the goods and services that you or your businesses have provided. How do you register? To register, again, it only takes a few minutes, but it is really important. The step one, if you're going to go to the link that you see on here, a supplier portal link at infocloudsuite.com. This is really important. We do have a tremendous vendor support staff that can really help you with all of this to make sure you can get everything that you need put in the system properly. So you can do business with the city of New Orleans. Step two, you click register as a supplier. You're going to have to provide your company information, your banking information, passwords, and commodity codes in a proxy for your business. And once you've done that, then you will have a supplier account number after you completed your registration. And we're gonna make sure that we have information for you. Again, our vendor support team can have you what you need for a handout to walk you through this process to make sure that you've gotten everything done properly. Okay, once you have an account, you have access to your account at any time, because if you need to do updates, anything changes, the primary business holder in your company changes, or your proxy changes, if you want to add or remove commodity codes, you'll have access to do that 24 hours a day through the supplier portal. But it is also important, because we've had some issues with this in the past, is that, again, if you have issues with registering, Our vendor support team will assist you, but we want to make sure before you do that, before you create a duplicate account, or if you're wondering if your account was created, to contact our vendor support team, and they'll make sure that you won't have a duplicate account in the system. And again, we want you to make sure that you can monitor the events for meetings that you can attend. The system is going to send you emails based off the type of work that your business does. So you have to monitor it pretty closely, again, if you really desire to do business here with the city of New Orleans. Again, you can monitor addendums to the events, any change that we had regarding the events. You'll be able to obtain that relevant information through our BRASS system. And again, our team does have a response to events guide available to you for you to have more information. Once you go to our website, you'll be able to see that information as well. So let's talk about commodity codes. A commodity code is the NIGP commodity codes. It's the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing Commodity Codes. Basically, this is a standardized coding structure that is used by government entities to classify the type of good and services your businesses can provide. So these are an example of some of our commodity codes. If you are a construction business and you provide supplies, the commodity code is the prefix is 150, the suffix is 12, and it breaks it all the way down to whether you do cement, lime, plaster, drywall is a 150 with a suffix of grout. We want to make sure that when you are registering in BRASS, if you look at some of the commodity codes for builder supplies, if you do everything on this, we want to make sure that you put every single one of these commodity codes in BRASS. Again, the only way, if you are a construction company that does any one of under 150 builder supplies, the only way you're going to get notification for these if you actually have that commodity code listed in your registration. Also, here's another example. Let me just make sure very clear. There's 10,000 commodity codes. So you can just go see what type of business that services that your business provides, and you can list all of those commodity codes in the system. Again, it is always important that if your business does that type of work, that we want to make sure that your commodity code is listed, annotated in the system through your registration portal. Through the supplier portal. Again, 912 is for construction services. And again, if you notice, 912 is the prefix, the suffix is the -21, -22. So if you do demolition services, but you also do general service using backfill, digging, ditching, you want to make sure that you have 912-23 and 912-40. Because if not, you're only going to get construction and not demolition services. So we want to make sure you look at your business or your service entity as a whole to see everything that you may provide. Again, you may be able to do construction work, but if you don't have 912-73, you won't get any notifications or solicitations regarding paver block installation. So it could be very, very, very micro when you're determining what type of work that your business entity does. Again, this just goes on some of the different commodity codes we have. Again, there are several. There's literally thousands of different commodity codes in there. So when you're registering the list is in the supplier portal, so you can go through and see and begin to click off the type of services that your business provide. One of the things I always add when we talk about commodity codes is if you do construction work and it's for pavements, it's for brick work, we go in here and just say that your business does 912-73 paver block installation. But your business also does landscaping. So if you have to install paver blocks, but yet you have to demo the landscaping around that particular construction area to do the paver block installation, but yet your business also does landscaping, you have to make sure that you actually have the commodity code for landscaping. And in that case, you'll get the contract for both of those, for the paver block installation, and you'll also have the commodity codes for the landscaping. But even further, if you can install paver block, but yet you don't have 912-40 to demo it first, then you only get called once someone else has demoed the project for you to install the paver block installation. So we want to make sure that you see how they all work together, that if you do paver block, sidewalks, or any type of cement work, that you want to make sure that you have 912-40 to, if any event, the project needs to be demoed before installation. If not, they're going to hire someone else to do demolition services, and that company probably has paver block or cement work installed. So you want to make sure that you have all the commodity codes to ensure that you can be competitive to do work with the city of New Orleans. So let's talk about some assistance. Here again, we have a tremendous vendor support team led by Mr. Tanika West that can really assist you with getting everything that you need for your supplier portal registration. The information is right here. They're ready to assist you in any kind of way. We're very excited because over the last month, we've launched our vendor support clinic every Friday between 2 to 4, where you can really reach out to us and really assist us. We can assist you in getting registered in the portal. You can reach our vendor support team at NOLA.gov/BRAS support, BRAS-support, or just email any one of our vendor support agents at BOP-vendorsupport@NOLA.gov, or you can call us right here at our hotline or our main number at 504-658-1550. Again, we are here to assist you, to provide you with any opportunities that you have that you desire to do business with the city of New Orleans. So this is what we want to make sure that you leave with this on today, is that to register or to do business with the city of New Orleans and any entity, you have to be in the BRAS system, and you have to register in the supplier portal so you can show up in the BRAS system. Again, you'll have access to your account 24 hours a day if you need to make any updates. But one of the things I want to again stress that's not on here is that for when you look at your business as a whole, make sure you list all the commodity codes that falls underneath the umbrella of your business. That's really key. If not, you can limit yourself on what type of opportunities that are available to you and to your business. So we want to make sure that your opportunities are there, that you're monitoring BRAS, you're monitoring your email notifications. So you want to make sure that when you're registering, that you're using an email that you check and you have access to frequently. Because those you're going to get notified of the solicitations or the business opportunities or service opportunities by way of email notifications. But if you have any time or any additional questions, again, you can email our vendor support team, or you can go to the procurement website, NOLA.gov/purchasing, and we'll be more than happy to assist you in any kind of way that we can for you to do business with the city of New Orleans. Thank you so much. But if you have any questions, again, put them in the chat. We'll be more than happy to assist you and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Simmons. So now we'll go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Ventress.
Thank you, Ms. Margaret. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm LaSabra. I'm the certification manager here with the Office of Supplier Diversity over the State and Local Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification Program. I'm just gonna share my screen in 1 second. Okay. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
can see it.
Okay. So what we're discussing is the Equitable Business Opportunities Program. So the Office of Supplier Diversity is charged with implementing this program, and under the Equitable Business Opportunities Program falls the State and Local Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, or the SLDBE certification program. So the Equitable Business Opportunities Program is the policy of the City of New Orleans to practice non-discrimination based on social and economic disadvantage, race, color, gender, disability, and national origin in the award and performance of contracts. And so the city is committed to providing opportunities to businesses owned and controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged persons and is charged with ensuring their meaningful participation in contracting activities of the City of New Orleans. That does include public and private project spending, and then all projects that utilize public funding or incentives. So the objectives of the EBO program are to increase the number of available, qualified, and capable city-certified disadvantaged business enterprises, or DBEs, to increase the number of dollar amount and contract amounts with the DBEs, ensuring compliance and monitoring of DBE participation on city contracts. So beyond just the certification, once you are a certified DBE and you get a contract with the City of New Orleans, the Office of Supplier Diversity's commitment doesn't just stop there. So we go beyond that. We have a compliance department here that will also monitor those contracts throughout the progress to ensure compliance on both ends for those contracts. So we also assist with certified DBEs to build more competitive and sustainable businesses for the benefit of the city and its residents. The City of New Orleans has established an overall 35% utilization goal for socially and economically disadvantaged businesses for all public spending or private projects that utilize public funding and or incentives. And so what is the State and Local Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification Program? So this is the program that is administered through the City of New Orleans in partnership with the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans, as well as the New Orleans Aviation Board. And so the program's purpose is to empower small businesses by facilitating access to contracting opportunities with the City of New Orleans and its partners. This program is a race and gender neutral program. It does not make any presumptions regarding social and economic disadvantage. So every applicant that is interested in applying for this certification does carry the burden of proof regarding establishing their eligibility of social and economic disadvantage. A social disadvantage can be defined as a set of circumstances that can be either historic or current, and they're often outside of your control. So usually these have prevented your business from competing against other successfully similarly situated businesses. And so economic disadvantage is demonstrated by a limited capacity to compete in the public marketplace and due to diminished capital and credit opportunities. So to qualify for the SLDBE program, there are some eligibility requirements for this, and the first being ownership. So the firm has to be at least 51% owned by a socially and economically disadvantaged person or persons. The business size, it must be, the firm and all its affiliates must be a small business as defined by the SBA standards. And then independence, the business must not be tied to another business in such a way that compromises its control and independence, and also control. So anyone who is interested in applying to the program has to have the power to cause the direction of management and policies over the firm. And they also must have an overall understanding of and managerial and technical competence and experience directly related to the type of services that the business is engaged in. So what is a small business and how does the SLDBE certification apply? So a small business is defined as an independently owned and operated business that has a limited number of employees or generates relatively low revenue compared to larger corporations. And so the certification program requires firms to be a small business as defined by the United States Small Business Association, or USBA. And criteria that establish a small business may include, again, number of employees, annual revenue, and independence or of ownership. So to apply for the SLDBE certification program, we utilize a system called the B2G Now software. So the thing about this software is that a lot of other agencies implementing a DBE program will utilize the software. So the good thing about it is that you don't have to consistently create a new login. If you have created a login once before with another agency, you can utilize that same login on our portal as well. And so if the vendors are accessing the portal on the city's website, you can go to NOLA.gov, and then you'll go to doing business with the city and click on the EBO program. and then applying for a certification. And all the way at the bottom, there's a blue tab that says apply for certification there. So just a few key features about this, this software. And again, any firms doing business with the City of New Orleans, the Aviation Board, Sewage and Water Board, all of those firms have access to the software. So on there, it is an electronic certification application. So you can track your progress from start to completion. That's for new applications and renewal applications. You can also track, prime submission. So primes are able to submit utilization reports. Once you secure a contract, a prime can go in and submit that report, and it'll have automated tracking of contract goals and the participation on there. You also get automated communication with vendors via email. So usually the email will come from a City of New Orleans do not reply. So when you see that, it's usually from your portal. And then you also have an online certified directory there. So once you are certified in this program, you will be listed in this directory. And then you also have the ability to search for any certified DBE in that directory as well. So this is what the city's portal will look like. You'll know you're in the right place when trying to apply for the city's application, because you'll see the fleur-de-lis in the background. So once you click on that login, usually you just have the opportunity to log in if you have already created an account. But if you haven't, you'll go under vendor certification and then click on apply/renew certification. And then you should see a little pop-up like this. And so as a new applicant, you will need to create an account here. And then that will give you access to this portal, and you'll be able to start the application. So our application is 8 sections long, but it does also include a documents list. And so in those 8 sections, we do have a new section, which is the BRAS registration section. So as James mentioned earlier, BRAS is the supplier portal for vendors. And so this is where you are able to put in those bids and respond to the bids. You're able to do that there. So what we've done on our end is that we've kind of merged the two so that it makes it a little bit easier for a business to do those contracting opportunities, so that once you are certified as a DBE, you are required to register in BRAS, and that way you'll start to get those notifications, so long as James mentioned earlier, the commodity codes are up to date. And so the Office of Supplier Diversity is moving to integrate commodity codes onto decision letters now. So once certified in this program, you'll also have the commodity codes that you'll be able to update on the BRAS system as well. And so I think James mentioned it earlier, but there is a support link that you all can go to, and I just have it listed on my webpage. It's here. But you also can go onto procurement site and find the information there as well. So starting out as a new applicant, we do require 4 documents. We provide them, but these are required documents. These are only 4 of a few, but these are some that we provide, and we need them to be returned back to us once you have completed them. Everything is electronic, so you would fill this out and then upload it back to the portal. But the first being the personal financial statement. So this is one of the documents that you will have to go through. It is 9 sections long. I always suggest starting with section 2 and completing it through section 9, and then going back to your assets and liabilities, because you'll need to calculate your net worth here. And so the way you do that is to just subtract your assets and liabilities to get the net worth there. We also provide an affidavit. So for all new applicants and renewals, you do get an affidavit. If you are a renewal, you'll get a no change affidavit, but this document does need to be completed on the top portion, but it has to be notarized. So you'll have to get the bottom section notarized. So it's always best to consult with the local notary, whether they want you to complete it in person or over the phone. They have several options, but you do have to get this document notarized. It's the only document that we require to be notarized for the program. So a spousal profile is also provided for you. So this is for those who are married. We do require information on your spouse. If you're not married, we still need the document to be returned to us. So you can always just put NA and sign it and just submit it back to us. And then the owner's narrative. So this is one of the more important documents in this process because, again, the program is race and gender neutral. So it's based on social and economic disadvantage. And one of the documents we utilize to capture that is the owner's narrative. And so on this form, there's about 7 questions. I know some of them are cut off here, but there's 7 questions. And so we always ask that you take the time to truly fill it out and describe your experience when entering the business world. All right, so what happens next? So this is actually a 2-part process. So once you submit your application, it will be assigned to an analyst, and the analyst will review your firm's application to verify that all the questions are answered within the application and all the documents are received. And then if all the documents and questions are answered, then your firm will be accepted to progress to the next step. So the next step would be you would get scheduled for a site visit after that. But if you're missing documents or your questions are incomplete, it'll be returned to you from the analyst and they'll advise you of what is needed to what is required to move forward. The site visit will just include an interview with the owners and a tour of your firm. So if you do not have a brick and mortar, we do set up the interviews here in our office. And the analyst will go ahead and schedule that as they move forward with your application. So this is listed on our website. This is some ways that you can find opportunities with the City of New Orleans as well as partnering agencies. So again, we do partner with the Sewage and Water Board and the New Orleans Aviation Board, but also any city agency will utilize the certification. So you can go onto our website and find some opportunities there. And then if you are certified in the Louisiana Unified Certification Program, that is the federally funded program, the City of New Orleans has given provisional certification acceptance for these applicants. So if you are a certified DBE with the Louisiana Unified Certification Program, that means you can bid on city projects without having the SLDBE program certification. However, we do ask that if you are certified in LAUCP, that you get certified with the SLDBE certification as well. It doesn't hurt to have multiple certifications. All right, so this is our contact information. I am LaSabra. Once again, I'm the certification program manager here. And then I have my team's emails on here as well. So we have a small team, Christian, Trevor, and Jaden. Those are the analysts. So once your application is assigned, you'll be speaking with one of the 3. All right, Ms. Margaret, that is it for me. I did have this question slide. So Ms. Margaret, I can leave this up if you want to open up the chat.
Yes, thank you so much. I don't see any questions so far, but everyone, this is now the time to ask any questions that you have. You have the professionals here to answer them. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Okay, still not seeing any questions. So that means you both did an awesome job and covered everything. Everything was well explained. I want to thank Mr. James Simmons and Ms. LaSabra Ventress for taking the time to be with us today. I want to thank you all for joining. Within 5 to 10 business days, this session will be added to the Office of Economic Development YouTube channel. Our next session is Tuesday, June the 3rd, and our speaker of the day will be a representative from the Office of State Procurement. Please check your emails for any reminders. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I hope you all will join us again. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Margaret.
Thank you,
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Margaret, for having us. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you both.
Okay, have a great day.
All right.